This is a short video just to show you guys that a pair of my German blue rams have spawned right here on this piece of slate. That's the male right there, and the female is right over here. You can see the red spot on her belly. And I'm pretty excited about it. I just got them not too long ago. There was the other male from the other pair. I have two pairs in here, and this is a 20 long. I got a pair of quarries in there. Just it's an emerald female and an albino male right there in the corner. And then that's the other female. And then that's the female that spawned. That's the male that spawned. And that's the other male over there. So I got a cave and a couple of flat stones so they can lay their eggs on there. It's been working out pretty good when I put two pairs in a 20 long. Each of them seems to take up one side of the tank, and I don't see a whole lot of fighting between them. This time, however, they chose the middle of the tank, right dead in the middle. So there probably will be a little bit more fighting until the pair decides to take the wigglers whenever they become wigglers, and they'll probably take them to a corner of the tank, like either up in the cave there, or one of the flat spots, like the little terracotta plate or the other piece of slate in the back. That's usually what they do. They'll take the wigglers and they'll move them to a more secure location, either inside a cave or in the corner of the tank. So I got the heater back there, and then you see this this filter right here is basically like a sponge filter, or yeah, it's an air-driven filter, and that's what I use for filtration. And then right below that I have another 20 long. So I built this rack myself. So up top I have the 10-gallon with some shell dwellers in there. And then I have this 20 long, and then that 20 long. And in that 20 long, I have some gold rams. I have 4 gold rams, but I believe that I only have 1 pair and 2 extra males. So I put another German blue ram female in there that I had extra. I didn't have a male for her. So I just put her down there. Maybe she'll pair up with one of the extra males there. Maybe not. But if she does, that's cool. So you can see the gold rams. They look pretty good. Now, this one here is a little bit harder to tell on the gold rams whether they're male or female, because with the German blues you can tell by the red spot that forms on the female's bellies when they're gravid. And these golden rams, they don't show that. So the only way to kind of tell is by the size and the shape of their body, and sometimes their dorsal fins. But these are not really full grown yet. They're about to start spawning, but they're not quite full grown. They're not the size that these are. I mean, you can see that male and just see the size of him there. And then you see this one here, and he's not quite that big. So that one back there, I'm pretty sure that's a male. And that one right behind him, I think is the female. I think that's the only female that I have. I might be wrong, and I think that's another male right behind her. So they're kind of pairing off. I saw them cleaning up that little flat stone back there next to that cave. This one here, I think it's a male in the front. That one right there, I think that's another male. He might, it might be a female. I don't know. I was sold these 4 grams as
as 2 pairs, but I don't think they're 2 pairs. I think it's 3 males and 1 female. And like I said, here I have a sponge filter. Got a couple of caves. I got some leaf litter. I like to keep bare bottoms, or mostly bare bottoms. I do have a little bit of sand in there that I couldn't take out. Same thing here, but it's mostly bare bottom, and it makes it a lot easier to clean up. And I really enjoy the way it looks. I painted the back of these tanks with some Rust-Oleum. Right below the sponge filter, you'll see that German blue female kind of hiding there.
So those are my German blue rams. Eventually, I will pick probably just 1 pair of each to breed. You see, they're still spawning there on the slate. So I will probably pick 1 pair of each and just breed those. Try to get some fry and raise them up. I've done it before, but I haven't in a while. I'm just kind of starting back up. And I'll probably divide one of these 20 longs and just put 1 pair on each side of the tank. And the reason I might do that is because I'll be getting some apistogrammas. I'll be getting a pair of apistogramma agazizii and a pair of apistogramma honsloi. And I'll probably put those down there. I'll probably end up dividing both of these tanks right down the middle. Right down the middle. And just put 1 pair of each in each of the sections. And it'll keep me entertained. I don't really breed the fish for profit or anything like that. I just kind of, if I manage to raise a badge, I'll sell it to friends or relatives, or just keep a bunch of them myself. I've raised up angelfish and rams and cories and plecos and stuff like that. I usually just kind of keep them. I only have 4 tanks up at the moment, so it's these 3, and then my 60-gallon kind of planted / angelfish tank that I have here. Hopefully in the not too far away future, I'll be able to build another one of these racks and put 2 or 3 more 20 longs on there. I have a 29-gallon tank, but I use that for a Daphnia culture that I used to feed to my fish, so that'll probably stay as a Daphnia culture tank, and I'll just probably use 20 longs. 20 longs are definitely my favorite size of tank, because most of the fish that I like to keep are small, and they fit well in a 20-gallon, and you can spawn them, and it's easy to heat, and it's easy to filter, and it's easy to build a stand for it. You know, you can build one of these racks, and you can stack 3 20 longs right on top of each other, and it'll be about the same height as this 60-gallon with a stand. You know, so it's just a lot easier if you're breeding small fish like I am to build these little racks, or maybe even like 10 gallons. Like put them long ways. It'll just stick out a few more inches than it already does. I think it only sticks out about 14 inches from the wall to the front of this tank. So if you had the 10 gallons, it might be, you know, a couple more inches or a few more inches or whatever, and you can probably fit about 3 10-gallon tanks long ways in the same area that you got this 20-gallon, and that'll give you more room to breed more small fish. You know, if you're into guppies or live bearers, these small cichlids, you know, rams, apistogrammas, cories, Even plecos, you can throw some plecos in a 10-gallon tank and they'll breed for you. Um, so that's what I got on this rack. You'll see up here, I got my 10-gallon, very dimly lit um, Neolamprologus multifasciatus tank. I have 4 of them. I used to have 7 of them, but I had a tank crash a couple of months ago and I lost 3. So I ended up with 4, and I was hoping that one of them, at least one of them, was a female, so they would start breeding. And for the longest time, they never did anything. So I thought that they'd probably be all males. I don't know how to sex them. I read online that you can probably tell because of the size difference, and I'm not really an African cichlid guy. These are the first African cichlids that I've ever kept, and they're definitely some of my favorite fish now. They're so easy to keep, and they're so small. You can put a lot of them. This is only a 10-gallon tank, and you can just throw a bunch of these shells in there. You can buy the shells right on Amazon, or you might have them at Walmart. I don't know. But I got these on Amazon. I got a huge bag of them for not a whole lot of money, a few dollars. And I just threw them in there, and they use it as a house. And I got some ram's horn snails, a bunch of them in there. They keep all the sand turned over, and they do too. They'll burrow in the sand. So you can see right there, you got 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one right over there. And the good news is that the smallest one right here in the center of the screen, it turned out to be a female. And the other day, I was very pleasantly surprised that I looked in the tank and boom, there's fry. I don't know if you can see them right in the center there. Right in the center, right on the right side of that little piece of moss, you'll see a couple of fries swimming around the shells there. Not a whole lot of them. I counted 7, I think. It was between 6 and 8. They were swimming around the shells there. And every time I get too close to the tank, they'll hide back in the shells. So I try not to scare them. But you can see a couple of them swimming there. So it's good. I'm glad that I have males and females left over. And I'm glad that they're breeding. So they seem to be doing okay. And hopefully they'll breed some more. And they'll just make the colony grow. Over time, maybe I'll have some of these that I can sell to people. Or, if you're interested. For local pickup, mostly, I'm not really good with shipping fish, so I don't usually do that. So I'm not familiar with shipping fish. I mean, I've bought fish online. That's how I got most of them. But I've never really done it myself. So that's what I got on this rack, and I got a hang-on back filter there and a heater, and that's it. And I got nothing else in there. So all these tanks are very low tech and they're very easy to maintain. I try not to get into all the crazy stuff with the tanks, and just keep it as simple as I can, just to make it less expensive and less complicated, because I find that when you try to make things overcomplicated, you will start slacking on the maintenance, and you'll kind of get discouraged a little bit if you're trying to breed fish, or if you're trying to race up some fish, and you try to do things the expensive way and try to do things complicated. A lot of people will try to alter their water chemistry and alter, just everything to do with the tank, and after a while you kind of get tired of it and you'll give up easier. So just kind of stick to what works with your water. So here, the rams are working all right with me, the Maltese are working all right with me, and then angelfish definitely work all right with me. They're definitely my favorite fish. I've had them for for a long time. I've had them for almost 15 years, I think. They were some of my very first fish that I ever got, and they've been my favorite for a long time, and they're definitely still my favorite fish. I got a couple of clown angels there. You see that white one? That's a clown, and then there's the other clown there. I got some black angels. I got a couple of those. And then I have 3 koi angels. One of them's right behind that piece of driftwood there. That's a male. And then up here, I have a pair of kois, which are about to spawn. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but I can already see their breeding tubes sticking out the bottom of their bellies. You might be able to see them. So I put this piece of PVC pipe there with a little sucker cup thing on there, and they'll use that to spawn. Hopefully, maybe use a leave on one of these solar plants, and I'll try to raise those up. I got a couple of Colombian tetras there. I've had those for years in this tank. I got some rummy noses. I got some glow light tetras in here. And you can see I have a couple of discus. Now, that's one of them, real tiny. He's about maybe 1.5 inches across. And then I have this other one here, which is a lot bigger. Let's see if we can get a good look at him. That one's about 3 inches across. I got both of them at the same time. It's hard to believe that they're the same age, but they really are. And I guess that one just kind of stayed small. I realized that this is not the ideal habitat for the discus, but